Okay. So how do I before you go live? Okay.
Um, Hold on. Message me on the Zoom on the chat.
All right then.
Mhm. Hi everyone, good evening. It's Friday. Welcome back. In the meantime, while we're just trying to finish our setup, whoever is on, um, you could go ahead and you can share with your friends. You can invite your friends to this week's live. It's going to be a very
Hi
interesting
everyone,
one.
good evening. It's
So,
Friday. Welcome back. In the meantime, while we're just trying to finish our setup, whoever is
setup, you can go ahead and you can share with your friends. Let your friends know what's going on. We're on live. Invite your friends, and it's ladies uplifting and inspiring. So please be patient with us, guys. Thank you. Hello, guys. Welcome. It's Friday. I just want to first apologize for the lengthy delay. And I thank you for your patience, guys. Welcome back. It's Friday. It's ladies uplifting and inspiring. So, as you know, this week we will be touching a very touchy, one that, not many people will have the strength or the boldness or the courage to come out and speak about. This week, we will be speaking about losing a loved one and the grieving process. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Like I said earlier, share with your friends, let them know what's going on. We're now live to our viewers. And without further ado, I'm going to ask one of our special guests, Opal, please introduce yourself. You may want to unmute. You're still on mute.
Are you hearing me now?
Go loud and clear. Go right ahead.
Okay, I had to take my headphones off in order to for you to hear me. So I'm going to be speaking through my computer. So again, hi, my name is Opal McKnight Klein-Sasser. I've known Cleo for quite a while. We worked together in the bank years ago. And, she had asked me to come and to join in. And, I believe that we are here to help each other. And whatever we have gone through, it is for us to help other persons also in the process. So as I have sent out to my friends and has just posted on Facebook about the grieving process, I'll be sharing somewhat what has happened to me. Hopefully I won't start crying. I forgot to take my tissue with me. So hopefully, as I said before, I won't start the crying just now, but it is really something that it's not something people want to talk about, being hurt and people hurting you and what it feels like. But the more you talk about it, is the more you will be healed and the more you will help someone else through this healing process.
That is so true, Opal. And, I really appreciate you accepting our invitation to be our special guest, not only to be that, but, like I mentioned, you are strong. And like you said, we don't know if you will break down, but hey, we are very patient. And I'm happy that you're here to uplift and inspire other women who may have had that experience or who is currently experiencing the same and don't know what to do. Like you said, we're here to uplift each other, each one teach one, so to speak. So I guess our other guest, I'm not sure, she may be late. I'm waiting for her to respond. So we do apologize for that. We should have Afresha with us soon. And I also want to say on behalf of the other ladies of Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring, Angela, she's always behind the scenes, so she's still with us. Vanille, still enjoying her vacation. Okay, guys, so we're here for you every week. As you know, your concern concerns us, and together we will conquer. So, Opal, I'm just gonna have you start. Where did this all start? As you know, before we get into the grieving process, where did this all start? The hurt, because a lot of people sometimes don't. The topic as it is losing someone, the first thing that will come to mind is death. No, guys, just to let you know, we're here to edify you that losing someone, it could be a relationship, someone you were very much in love with, and things went sour, didn't go the way as planned, and you have to sever ties and go your separate ways. And sometimes it's a very a hard deal to handle. And you go through a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of everything. And even with counseling and therapy, sometimes it takes time. So sometimes we have, for the most part, not sometimes, the ultimate is to also have the supreme being with you to allow you to maintain and sustain and to keep your sanity. So Opal, I'm going to ask you to share with us, how did this all start, from the sweet days until it got sour?
Wow. Well, actually, let me see now. So I've been married twice. So I got married the first time in 2006. So I think you were still at the bank then. Yeah. So I got married in 2006. And by 2008, I found that I was single again. Of course, the first thing that I felt apart from grief was, shame that I did something wrong, why my marriage didn't last. I was a little ashamed to tell a lot of people because coming from Jamaica, a lot of people tend to think that when marriages don't work out, it's normally the woman's fault. I remember I told someone, what happened, and excuse me, everyone, but I'm going to tell you what he said. When I told him that my marriage ended, he said, well, I wasn't doing it properly. And so I told, yes. And so I told the taxi man, I said, even if I went on my eyelashes, even if he has decided to go, he will go. So that's one of the things I'd want to say to us, that, if you've done everything you can in a marriage and the spouse decides to go, don't feel badly. You have done all that you can. And there are going to be persons who will make you feel badly about it. They're going to say mean things, and to make it look as if it's your fault, but it really isn't. And so in 2008, when I found out I was single, it was not the easiest thing to deal with. First of all, my church, then my co-workers, I went to my dad. He was alive at the time, and I told him what happened. And my dad said, oh, I know what's going to happen anyway. So apparently my family saw what I didn't see, and sometimes in a relationship, people see what you don't see, or maybe what you don't want to see.
Right.
And so I thought I would have gotten comfort from my dad, but I didn't get any. And so I had to deal with it. And, I remember I had hair on my shoulder. First of all, I had processed hair on my shoulder, and the hair wouldn't respond to anything I did to it. So I chop it off. I started hot curling it. I colored it, I felt good about myself, because when I looked in the mirror, I didn't see a woman who was hurting. I didn't see a woman whose husband had left her for somebody else. I saw a strong person, somebody who looks good, somebody who is to be desired. And that is why I did it, and there are places I was looking for support that I didn't get any. And I'm not trying to bash church people, because I am a Christian. I remember I approached the pastor and I said to him, I mean, nobody has ever asked me how I'm doing or anything. And his response was that the people at the church said I look good. I don't look as if I'm going through anything. And I said to him, if I have to look, and the Jamaican colloquial is all I'm packed down, before anybody offers me any kind of comfort, then, too bad it won't happen. And so I went through the process, the hurt, the pain. I remember when it happened, it took me, how it happened, it was 6 months. Every night I went to my bed, I dreamt about it. It was like a constant dream. I dreamt about it for 6 months, every night for 6 months. It was a replay of what happened in Halfway Tree in Kingston. It was a replay of how he came at me, in front of people in Halfway Tree. And if anybody knows Halfway Tree in Jamaica, it's a public place, and it was a replay for six months. I dreamt about it. It was just replaying over and over constantly in my mind. And it was a preacher who came to our church one day, and he said to me that, God says that you should let it go and forget it. 7 times he said so. And I remember I made a loud shrieking sound in church, because the pain of it all is like, I wasn't ready to let it go, but God was ready for the healing process. And so I was also going counseling, and I remember, sorry, that's my 18-month-old. I've been trying to appease him by giving him the phone and everything, but it's not working. So I remember there were days, well, not every, there were days, there were almost every day that I would remember him. When most people know he wasn't the most responsible. And I guess he thought working at the bank, meant I had money. Wow. And so he wasn't paying any bills. He wasn't buying food. He wasn't doing anything. And so I had to borrow money. A lot of people didn't know that, but it was really nobody's business anyway. I had to borrow money, in order to keep myself afloat. And I was even embarrassed by the people that we were renting the place from. I couldn't afford the rent because I was in so much debt. I wasn't getting anything from him. And, you know, after the breakup, I kept remembering how much debt I was in. And I kept hating him for it. I kept hating him for it. And I did hate him. I remember I went to a church. They called me to minister at a church because, as I said, I graduated from Jamaica Theological Seminary. I was studying to become a pastor. So I was understudying the pastor at the church. And so the young people, they invited me to come and to share. And I went and I told them, I said, yes, I'm a Christian, but I hated him. I hated him for what he did to me. And, you know, yes, I was honest, because honesty is the best policy, as they say. And one of the things I've come to realize about life, you have to be honest with yourself. While you can try and fool others, you can't fool yourself. And so I told the church, you know, I hated my husband, my ex-husband, for what he did to me. But I started telling him about how God healed me and how God is healing me. And one of the ways I dealt with it was that every time that he came up, I would say, I forgive him, I release him. I forgive him, I release him. That's something that the counselor actually taught me. You know, I went through the stages of grief, you know, as Cleo and I were discussing. And there was a stage of denial. Can't really believe this is happening to me. You know, I just can't believe it.
Opal, let me just interject. Sorry about that. So, guys, for those of you who don't know, there, I'm not sure if I mentioned it earlier, but the stages of grief, there are 5 stages, okay? And the first one is the denial stage, you know, then the anger stage, then the bargaining stage. So the denial stage is that you're not accepting, like she said. The anger stage is where she gets angry when she remembers. And then, okay, sweetheart, today is a day for the kids. So you
I know.
apologize for that, guys. And then after it passes the anger stage, it goes to the bargaining stage. So the bargaining stage is where you don't reach the acceptance stage, but you kind of looking into it for what it is. You know, do you really want to be in there? Yes or no? Or, you know, okay, yes, it happened. And then the depression stage. So that's where it's sinking in now, by like being like, okay, it's happening. It's really happening. And, you know, you have to make a decision now. Where do you go? You're at a crossroads kind of. And then the last stage is the acceptance stage. Well, okay, I'm going to deal with it. It is what it is. So just to let you guys know that there are 5 stages of the grieving process. So it's the denial, anger, bargaining, the depression, and acceptance. So go ahead, Opal. I'm sorry about that.
So yes, so I learned from the counselor that there were, as Cleo said, the 5 stages, but the 5 stages, they didn't come in that order. There are times when I felt I was okay, and I felt as if I accepted what I was going through, but then I went back to the stage of denial again. You know, being married and then being single, it's not an either thing. I got married at 29, and by 31 I was single. And the culture in Jamaica is that after 31, you're too old to have kids. So, you know, forget about it. I thought about that. I thought about who would marry me, being a divorced person, you know, and to start dating again and to find somebody and to go through the whole process was in itself depressing. And it was very hard to deal with, you know. To people would ask, where's your husband? You know, and I was at a stage, do I lie? Oh, he's fine, he's okay, he's at work. Or do I tell them the truth? And so it's like bargaining, as Cleo said. I had to bargain. Do I tell them he's gone? Do I not tell them? Do I spare myself the hurt that people are going to say mean things? And they did say mean things, you know. But during this process, what is so amazing is that God had me preaching on the bus every single day. I never told anybody much at the bank. This was, you know, this was what happened. But there was somebody who worked with me, who we were on the bus every day, the premium bus in Jamaica. And every day God had me preaching, ministering to people, you know, even though I was hurting, telling them about his love. And I would go home. My sister just got married. My sister just got married at the time, and she was living with us. And I would go home and I would just lie down. She would cook, I wouldn't eat, I wasn't hungry. That's another part of depression. You don't want to eat, you don't want to do anything. I remember I didn't even cry because I thought he was just not worth me crying. But I've come to realize that when you're grieving, cry. Cry, 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 cry. Cry, let it out. Cry, let it out. If you have to take a day off from work, take a sick day and just cry your eyes out. Believe me, you will be better. It took me 6 months to cry. And when I cried, I couldn't even go to work. That morning I got up, I was crying. I remember specifically, it was my sister's birthday. And I cried the entire day. I didn't know I could cry for a day. I cried myself to sleep. I got up back, I cried and I cried. And the following day, I was good. I had let it out. All that pent up anger, all that pent up grief, I have decided, you know what? I'm gonna let it out. And after the marriage broke up, I tried to speak with him, but he didn't want to talk to me. And that in itself also made the grief even harder. I wanted to talk to find out what was happening, what happened. I was at the stage where I was blaming myself. What did I do? I want to know, what did I do? Let me know. So, going forward, I know what to do. But he refused to speak to me. And so I was left with my own thoughts, my own everything as to what I should be doing. And after that, a minute somebody came to our church and he told me that, you know what, Opal, there's nothing left. The marriage is over. You need to move on. However, God is going to provide you, yes, with somebody, which he has, And it was during this time when I decided to file for divorce. So of course I thought that filing for divorce would make me happy. But the day I got my divorce, I remember clearly, it was a Thursday, was the day that my father was admitted in hospital. So that day that he was admitted in the hospital he was vomiting blood. And, he normally asks me about my divorce when I'm getting it. And, my father died. My father died without me having to tell him that I actually got the paper, and as much as you're happy when you get a divorce, when you actually get the piece of paper in your hand, it makes a difference to your life. It says, hey, this is of a fact, you're really single again. And, again, a rush of emotions started coming in. Daddy has died, you're going through divorce. And, I just had to shelf going through divorce and deal with my father's death. And that's when I cried. Oh my goodness, I cried. Every moment I got, I cried. I just made sure that this time around, I didn't hold it in. I released it and I cried. And, that in itself was not an easy thing, because there were things I wish I could have done for my father. I was planning. He died before we got the profit sharing, Cleo, and I wanted to do something for him when I got the profit sharing. He died in October. Wow. And profit sharing would have been about December. And he died, and it was just difficult for me to deal with, because there's so many things I wanted to do to say, Daddy, thank you. And I got a dream when I was here in Canada in college, and I saw my father and I was crying, and in the dream, the Lord said to me, you need to stop crying, because with depression, there has to be a time when you face up to this and you stop crying, you stop grieving. Because if you don't practice certain things, you will forever grieve. And that's something I've come to realize. If you don't tell yourself, you know what, it is time to pick it up and move on, you're going to be grieving every day. And you might look beautiful and happy on the outside, but on the inside, you're truly dying. And an emotional death is very hard. And I would encourage anybody, you're going through this, go for counseling. I did. And counseling is not for the person, as the counselor told me, which is true. It is really for me, because it helped me to find out, where do I go from here? What am I going to do next? It kind of set the stage for me. It forced me actually to start answering questions I really wasn't willing or ready to answer. you know um I just wanted to curl up in a ball sometimes and just forget about the world, but that's not how life is. And so counseling has really helped me in this process. I didn't go for counseling with my father, but because of the end of the marriage, I was doing counseling. It kind of helped me. And let me just remind us ladies that with the grieving process, as Cleo and I spoke about yesterday, is that the body goes through the same process as if when somebody dies. So don't fool yourself thinking, oh, okay, he's not dead. No, it's the same process. It's the same process. It's the same everything that the body goes through when a relationship is over. It's the same grieving process. And the thing about it is that, to me, it's a little harder when it's a relationship, because the closure is difficult. When the person is dead, fine, it's closed. You have received closure. But while the person is alive, closure is not the easiest thing. And especially if the person refused to speak to you so you could get some closure, it makes it difficult. Just before I got married 4 years ago, the Lord told me to, have closure to my first marriage. And I called him and, I said, I'm sorry for the things I have done and whatever. And I asked you to forgive me. And he said to me, I will never forgive you. Yeah, I will never forgive you. But because the Lord has been dealing with me, and I know that I have done my part, and I said, okay, thank you. And I moved on, because what else can I do? I have done my part. And I'm at peace with myself just now because I have done my part. I said, you know what, Lord, even though he doesn't want to forgive me, I have forgiven him. And it made transitioning into my second marriage much easier, because I've dealt with divorce and I've dealt with the whole matter of being hurt, the whole matter of grieving. And, I was also going through another phase of grieving earlier this year, when my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. And I wrote it on Facebook. That's how Cleo knew what was happening. And that one was difficult. It was during COVID. There were no planes going out of Canada to Jamaica. I mean, there's so many things happening. And I realized, I went to counseling too. Yes, I did go through counseling, and I realized this one was known as anticipatory grieving. I was anticipating the death of my mother. And, every time that my cell phone rang and I saw it was one of my sisters, I was like, oh my God, don't tell me mama has died. And it made me so afraid to answer my phone. It made me so afraid to speak to anybody in Jamaica, because I was anticipating the death of my mom. And again, I had to go for counseling, because I fell into depression once again because of this whole grieving thing. My mother would have died. There are no planes going to Jamaica because of COVID. I wouldn't be able to go and see my mother. There were a lot of things happening. No jobs, no anything. And I went into another phase of depression. And with the counseling, I was able to pick myself up and to get out of it. She asked pointed questions. Opal, was there anything? Do you regret not doing anything for your mom? And I'm like, no, I have done everything I can. So I'm not saying if I get the call just now that mama has closed her eyes, I'm not saying that, I am at the stage, but I'm in a better place. I'm in a better place because I've dealt with the grieving. And this time, if and when I get that call that mama has closed her eyes, then I will be grieving the death of my mom and not anticipating the death of my mom. Cleo?
Okay, Opal, you've said a mouthful. You've said a lot. But it's good. It is good. I mean, I myself here, some part of it I understand, but I could never really understand what another person is going through. And like you said, a lot of times we may look beautiful and everything looks glowing on the outside somewhat, but the inside, it's killing. We're it's like rotten on the inside or hollow on the inside. And a question I want to ask you, Opal. So you said you never regretted, like someone would ask you if you did everything for your mom, you said yes. So did you kind of do that to compensate for what you didn't do for your father?
I think I overcompensated. I think I did, I actually I don't think I compensated. I think I overcompensated, because whatever my mom wanted, we tried to give her, because we were like, she's our only parent, right? She's our only parent that's alive. And we really want to do something different, something more for her. So yeah, I did.
Awesome. And another quick question before I go over to Afrisha is that you said while you were going through your painful divorce, oh my God. So first he said the sex part of it, in other words, for probably those who didn't understand, he's like, you couldn't perform proper sex. Is that what that means, right?
That's what a taxi driver said when I told him my husband has left. So the
Right.
taxi driver said
Oh,
it's because
okay.
I wasn't doing it properly.
Oh, I got you. Oh, just to clarify. Okay, there
No,
you
no,
go.
no, no. The taxi driver said it.
Okay, okay, I understand. But I mean, sometimes the other party, whether it be the male or the female, for some reason they're not willing to forgive and move on. And with that being said, they may be the one who end up even hurting more than the other party who seems to get the help and have closure. But just to let the audience know that sometimes, even though because you made something a mention about closure where the person who's dead, it may be easier to handle, but sometimes, guys, just to let you know that even though someone may have died physically, you're not seeing them, doesn't mean closure. Because it may be that sometimes you see something comes up on the TV or you hear a song, it brings back that memory or something, and you start crying again. So like you said, there are different other outside of the grieving process, there are different stages of grieving, like the anticipatory grieving that you've gone through. So Opal, you've had an ordeal, not just one, not just two, but you've had you know the issue of your mom being diagnosed with a disease that sometimes we think that being diagnosed with a disease, it's death, and you were anticipating her death, and the fact that you went through that divorce and your father passing. So the question is, while you were going through your divorce, is it that your father was sick and you had to be tending to him as well, that double jeopardy there, or you were just dealing with your divorce and then he passed and then you had to deal with that?
Okay, so the divorce was like a year after he left. By law, a year after you can file for divorce. Once there's no physical contact, no sex nor anything, people file for divorce and they're still having sex. But anyway, that's beside the point. Once there's no physical contact, so I did file for divorce like a year after, and so in 2008, my marriage ended. 2009, my mother got her fifth minor stroke, so I mean, and then 2010, daddy was diagnosed with renal failure. So it was like one thing behind the other in 3 year span. So 2008 marriage breakup, I had to deal with that. Then my mother got sick, had to deal with that. 2008 December, I met in an accident where I was rear-ended. So I mean, yeah, I never mentioned that part because it has nothing to do with grieving, but I had to be dealing with that back pain, and then my mom was staying with me when she got the fifth minor stroke. And then, daddy was sick. Daddy was sick, to be honest with you. But we had focused more of our attention on my mom, and by the time my mom got a little better and we decided to focus our attention on our dad, we found out that his kidneys were 20% functional. So in
Wow.
other words, he had to do dialysis. So he would ask me, how is the divorce going? When are you getting a divorce? And I said, Daddy, I haven't gotten anything or anything like that. So I had to be dealing with all of that. My mom being sick, my mom staying with me for a couple months. My sister lived nearby, so it was easier living by myself, for her to stay with me. And because my sister lived nearby, she would come in the days, stay with my mom. And then in the nights and on weekends, it was my time or my duty to take care of my mom. And then, as I said, during that time, Daddy was sick. We realized that he was getting swollen because his kidneys weren't working. And then when we decided to do that, that's when I was hit. Hey, your father's kidneys are 20% functional. He needs to do dialysis. So, yeah, I had to be dealing with all of that and dealing with my parents at the same time. And being the first of four girls, most of the responsibility was on my shoulder. I have older brothers, yes, but being a girl, it's different.
Right. It's like, the traditional where the woman does most of the household kind of stuff. They go and hunt. Okay, Opal, I mean, I'm very happy that you're here to share that with us. And Afresha, are you still with us? Um, Afresha, are you there? Okay, looks like we've lost her because I wanted to introduce her. Are you still there, Afresha? Okay, guys, so we're just gonna skip over that real quick. Not sure if she's having technical difficulties. So another question that I would love to ask Opal, like now, do you think that you've truly gotten over that? How are you feeling about it now?
The breakup of the first marriage, it has made me a stronger person. It has made me realize who I really am and what I want. You know, as again I said, it forced me to ask myself questions. What am I willing to settle for? What am I willing to do? What am I gonna do? Am I just gonna find anybody who is willing to stay with me because I'm divorced? Am I gonna settle? And one of the things that helped me, the church I was going to when I was a student here in Canada, one of the minister's wives said to me, Opal, stop telling people you're divorced. Tell people you are single. And that is what also helped me, because there is a stigma, whether or not people say it, there's a stigma about being divorced. And because of that, I felt really funny. I remember one day I was in college and some students were talking and I kept quiet and they said, what about you? And I told them I'm divorced. You're divorced? Oh, we don't, people didn't believe. And I said, yes, I am. You don't look like somebody who's divorced. I'm like, how does somebody who's divorced look? People say stuff sometimes. I don't know if it's out of making a conversation or want to say something, but people say stuff, about it. And yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for that response, Opal. And Afresha, I'm going to ask you if you could please introduce yourself to the world. This is our second special guest on our program tonight, ladies, uplifting and inspiring. So go ahead, Afresha. Can you hear us, Afresha? You want to probably unmute so that we can hear you. Okay, guys, in the meantime, while we wait on Afresha, you can just go ahead and share, invite your friends to watch, invite your friends to our page. Ladies, uplifting and inspiring. Your concern concerns us. and together we will conquer. So in the meantime, we'll just take this like an intermission. You could just go ahead and share. Okay, Afresha, you're back with us. Can you hear us? Okay, so in the meantime, while she get it right, we're just gonna play some music. All right.
In times like these, it's the mercy of God we need to carry us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have mercy, Jesus. Have mercy, Lord. Have mercy on your people. Cause Lord, we need you now. Have mercy, Jesus. Have mercy, Lord. Have mercy on your people. If it's the time that we need you, it's now. So no matter what they say, I know Jehovah is the way. Lord, it's rough, and yes, life I get harder, but we know your name. It's the name above all name. Shout it loud, make me hear who no say. Have mercy, Jesus. Have mercy, Lord. Have mercy on your people. 'Cause Lord, we need you now. Have mercy, Jesus. Have mercy, Lord. Have mercy on your people. If it's the time that we need you, is now. Everybody stop, no have nowhere to go. Place a lockdown, sports and show. Ain't it funny how the world stops so? Every single channel of Corona manifesto. Watch it. Quarantine from here to Mexico. People are buy up here toilet tissue. I want to go and I must be something me no know. While the whole of them are fret up on your knees if you go. Have mercy, Jesus. Have mercy, Lord. Have mercy on your people. 'Cause Lord, we need you now. Have mercy, Jesus. Have mercy, Lord. Have mercy on your people. If it's a time that we need you, is now. Have mercy, Jesus. Have mercy, Lord. Have mercy on your people. 'Cause Lord, we need you.
Okay, guys. So we're gonna see if we can reach back Afresha. Afresha, can you hear us now? Can you hear us? I'm not sure what's going on. She's in and out. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, so she raised her hand. Okay, so you're hearing us. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to unmute so that you can speak and we can hear you. If you're using your phone, you can either tap the phone and there's a big circle that says unmute, or you can swipe it until you see the unmute option. You can't be using your phone right now for other things because it will interrupt the live. Okay, did you unmute? Can you hear us? Please be patient with us, guys. We do apologize for the technical difficulties, but we have to help out a sister, okay? because we want you to hear her story today. The devil is a liar. All right, so please just be patient with us, guys. I'm gonna send you a message. Let me know if you see it. All right, so Afresha, what I'm gonna ask you to do, if you're hearing us, I want you to log off and log back on. Log off and log back on. And let's see if that will rectify the situation. You're talking, but we can't hear you. So log off and then log back on. Okay, guys, today's just one of those days again. So in the meantime, it's Opal and I. So we are just gonna go further into it. Opal, she has already shared a great deal with us of her losing someone and then having to go through the grieving process. So so today, Opal, since you have to be on our show, what kind of day has this been for you?
A very good day, actually. With my two boys, I've been very busy. One is going to be 3 next month, and the other is 18 months old. So it's a very busy day, having them with me. I actually am putting them through day home because I have been job hunting and doing some online classes. So it's kind of difficult to have them around me and learning at the same time. But it has been a pretty good day. I was excited. I told my friends about it, that I'll be on. So they need to join. They need to join. They need to come and see what's happening. And again, I really thank you for bringing me on this program to talk about it because
Well, if you're hearing me, can you
sometimes
pause for a minute because it seems like Afresha is connecting with us
we
and it's giving us
talk
feedback.
with our friends and our story becomes sure thing.
Okay, Afresha, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can.
There you go. There you go. Okay, guys, so now I am going to allow Afresha Forbes to introduce herself to you, and then she will get into her ordeal or her pain or whatever her situation was as it relates to losing a loved one. So Afresha, go right ahead, introduce.
Hi, good night, everyone. My name is Afresha Forbes. I'm from Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. Well, I lost my mother to cancer on February the 10th, 2020. It has been a very rough. I can't even explain myself. I not even like to talk about it, but anyway, sometimes talking will help you get through the pain. It is not easy to lose a mother. Lose a mother is like one of your limbs is actually cut off. When my mother was first diagnosed with cancer, it was 2003. She was at work and she started to feel some pain. At the time, I was the first person she called, and when I was on the phone with her, I could hear the phone fell, boop, and me start bawl out. I said, "Mummy, mummy, mummy, mummy." Anyway, next thing I get a phone call to come to Apex Medical. When I went up there, her private doctor was already there, and they do the ultrasound and say it is stage 3 womb cancer. We went to public. Public give us some long run around, and everything was so frustrated. With the cancer, there was a tumor, so it started to make her swell, swell, swell. And eventually, well, the doctor said, "Wendy, you have to do something, you know." So I say, what are the other option otherwise from public? At the time, public was charging $30,000 to remove everything, and Andrews was charging us 180,000. So we say, here one mummy, don't watch your money, because if I money I watch, I got dead leave it. And we went by to Andrews and I talked to the doctor up there and everything, and she spent about, she went in the Sunday, they prepared for surgery the Monday. The surgery was very long because she went in just to remove where the cancer was, but when the doctor said when he went in here, it was already spread to the fallopian tubes, branch off. So eventually they take out everything. They don't leave back nothing. Because they said the reason for doing that is just because the cancer will come back again. She never wake up until the Tuesday. I sit on the I was on the bed the whole night, the Monday night with her at Andrews. I didn't leave to go home. The Tuesday evening, everybody was there talking with her, and I just know say she look different. And I said to one of my brothers, I said, "Mommy no look different." He said, "No, sir, you always exaggerate." I said, "No, my mommy's look different." Right there, my mother was dying in front of us. I remember when I run to call the nurse and doctor came in the room, they were ushering out everybody. I was the only one sitting, and I said, "Not leaving." That night, I slept with her at Andrews, and I remember I said to her, I said, "Mommy, if you are there tonight, I want day here, you know." But when the real death come, I can't face it. It was just a word of mouth at that time, 2003. She went through chemo. She's supposed to do 11 rounds of chemo. She only did 8 because 11 rounds of chemotherapy. She only did 8 because she had 2 heart attacks on the chemotherapy. And from there, 2015, when chikungunya, everybody recovered. She did not recover from chikungunya. And then there we do a MRI. She was diagnosed again with cancer for the second time. This time it was in the spine and the groin. They're saying no surgery cannot be done. She do level round a radiotherapy. She actually leave her hospital 2015 to 16. 2018, she was over here with me, and she just started to lose a lot of weight. She was not eating properly for about a week. She just have constant diarrhea. Everything was just up and down with her. When I take her to the private doctor, they said I must take her to the hospital. And anyway, we go to the hospital. They had a ultrasound. She went and do the ultrasound. And when she bring back the result, they admitted her same time. Then we learned that the cancer was back. Wow. I think that day, the whole world split in about 10 pieces because we know the journey again. And listen to Opal a while ago, being the only girl is not easy to deal with it. And me and my mother, we were very close. And 2018, November the 21st, when I found out that the cancer was back, I think me just did that expect for another survival person within her. But there, 2019 kicking, she was like, Wendy, I'm not gonna leave out the one here, you know. And me I said, Mommy, you have to hold on. She said, no, my body not strong like them. She said everything about me. 2019, she spent most of her time in the hospital. 2019, November, I went to the hospital, go look for her, and she handed me all of her documents on her bed, and she said to me, say, Wendy, you know, say, I'm not going to live. And I said, Mommy, stop that, man. Stop that, man. You have to live. We have to survive. We have been there how much time already, and we know. You hearing me?
Yes, we
All
are.
right. And she turned to me and she said to me, say, I must keep, she want a birthday party. I said, people not keep birthday party in the hospital, no, missus. She said, yeah, she said, ask the doctor. Go to my doctor and ask him. When me and my brother, him is a twin, him is the last one. She said, I go to the doctor. Him said to me, say, all of that, all the food that Miss Daly is requiring for her birthday is food that she should not eat. She want KFC, she want pizza, she want cake. Them time there, the sugar level was, I read, be a 23 and 24 a day.
Wow.
So me I say, Mommy, I say, listen, man, my last birthday, this just make me enjoy it. I say, no, man, me I like get panic one at the time. I say, me not like them something, I know, man. Me went to the hospital. Me we just got hospital, good. Me go in, and when me I leave her, me just have asthma attack, straight asthma attack. Me in here, I get ready for go hospital, and me find out say me can't breathe. Panic attack kill me. That was just how the situation was, because having your mother and over the years, and she weighed 250, and for watch your mother come down from 250 to about 80 pounds wasn't an easy sight. It wasn't something to deal with.
Wow.
When you see her, I just skin and bone. When me I tied her on the hospital bed, sometimes the tears are drip, and our doctor will draw me aside and say, don't cry, let you see. But me a baller, so me no care. Me walk on Princess Street, me ball from town, go straight to hospital and back. Me no busy so want look for me. Because at the end of the day, it was just too much for bear. And you know the road where it end up on. You know. And when you know, say yes, death is a must. When it come, you can't deal with it. And I remember everything was planned for the party. And on the day of the party, my brother, she said she want one slice of cake. He went to Sugar and Spice and buy a whole of cake. And the nurses and the doctors and the ward, they were very nice. When they reached at the main gate, security said, them they can't go up, you know. And him just contact a nurse and she just come downstairs and take them up.
Wow.
Up till now, I'd never get to attend that party. Because the day when the party keeping, I was at the health center getting some nebulizer. Another panic attack right there. It was so stressful that sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I say, God, why me alone I carry the burden here? I have a sister by my father's side. But Me don't have any by my mother's side where say me and them grow and close. So it was very hard to deal with 4 brothers and being the only girl. And I remember December, she tell the doctor she want to go home because of the last Christmas she has spent in her yard.
Did she get an opportunity?
Yes. Yes, the doctor spoke with me and said, boy, this is it. I said, all right, send her home. And she went home. I think she go home the 15th of December, a day before the twins' birthday, because the twins' birthday on the 16th. And she there for Christmas, everything. And me I say, my brother called me and I said, boy, I not like how mummy I breathe. Me say yes, because the cancer take the lungs, because the cancer spread from the belly button, go straight up through the stomach. Yes. And they call it metastasis cancer because it just spreading wildly, just like a wildfire over the body. And I remember I went to the country, and when I was down there, December the 31st. So 31st? No, yeah, the 30th. About 2 o'clock, I see my phone a ring, and when I see my phone a ring, I always get panic. And I answer, I say to my brother, say, what happened now? Him say, give me mommy date of birth there. I say, my date of birth. I never give it to him and something. I say to him, say, where are you? Him just hang up the phone, blamming on my ears. And me I call his phone. Me I call everybody phone, her phone, nobody not answering. I say, I couldn't sleep for the rest of the night. The morning about 7 o'clock, she called me and said to me, say, I'm there hospital, but I ask them not to tell you because I don't want you to cut your little vacation short. And I come up the Monday and I went to the hospital, and the doctor said to me, say she's coughing up blood. So that is a sign of pneumonia. They put her on some antibiotics and all of these things, and when they take her start now, she stop. No food can pass the throat. So they send her over Jubilee. I think over if on a KPH side of, but them send her go do one test to push the light down her throat. And when I went down there in the 11 o'clock visit, she was over there, and I sit there waiting, and when she returned, I could just see the sad look on her face that everything did not went well. And I said to her, I said, Mommy, everything now all right, don't. She said, talk to my doctor. Her doctor came by and I said, Doctor, what's up? And she said, boy, Wendy, this not look good. She said, the very light can't pass the back of the throat because the cancer reach up here. From she go in the hospital from December the 30th, she never come off oxygen because she can't breathe on her own. And sometimes you're there talking with her. Sometimes when I go there at 11 o'clock, I could see, say, things now go well. Because as she come off her oxygen, so they have to put on the nebulizer. As the nebulizer finish, they have to put on back the oxygen. Just an exchange. And it's like, whoa. And right there when the doctor started to tell me, and she said, me started to cry, and she said, Wendy, we are gonna give it a second try. Hope is not lost as yet. I say, my mother said to me, when I go back and me and her talk, she said, Wendy, please don't let them bring me back over there because a bare blood she started to spit. And I asked the doctor why she spitting blood same way. Is the pneumonia again? She said, no. It's just the light in the throat and everything just rupture up
Like
that
it
blood.
irritates, right? Irritation
Yes.
and all of that.
Yeah. I say, listen. I don't want the procedure there again. She said, all right, then we have to obey what you ordered. And she was just there, and the doctor turned to me and said to me, say, we needed to get an oxygen machine. I said, what? He said, yes, an oxygen machine. The day that he was telling me about the oxygen machine, she had a friend live in US, and same time we were talking, she called and she heard the conversation, and she said, Wendy, ask them if I have to have a prescription to buy it over here to ship to Jamaica. The doctor said yes. The doctor gave me the prescription same time with WhatsApp it and everything. And during those time, my mother was saying, Wendy, don't buy no oxygen tank. Right on the bed, me a dead.
Wow.
I say, Mummy, I don't like how you preach dead, because over the years, I know her as a fighter. In some darkest days when me think say things are gonna get rough on her, she was always the one to comfort me and say, Wendy, stop crying. They hear same way. And it's like I start come up with all kind of option. Oh, forget this oxygen tank and something. I'm gonna say, yeah, well, I'm gonna keep one cake sale to make our part of money come in quick. I remember everybody at work minimum wage. I look for nearly 600 US for the tank.
Wow.
Yeah, so you understand, you have to try think quick for come up with the money there. And when I tell her about the cake, she said, Wendy, stop. I never forget that day. She said, Wendy, stop. Cut off all of them thought out of it. She said, take them out, because I saw the journey over. And I say, no, sir. I remember one morning I was here and I was calling the phone. I had a mother that she was a very talkative person. She would call you for nothing. 5 o'clock, do she wake you up out of your bed for nothing? Sometimes she comes and say, what's wrong with you? People are sleeping. I'm in the ear for her the morning, and there me know say something was wrong. And I call the phone and I never get her, and I say, KPH, here I come. When I went down there, the doctor told me that Wendy, when I go, she screen off, and the doctor said, boy, Wendy, who tell us there's something wrong? I said, my instinct. She said, you're right. She said, from 3 o'clock this morning, we have fight with Miss Daly to keep her alive.
Wow.
I'm going to say, I'm going to go. And in a little mumbling, she was in and out of consciousness. She hold me and she said, Wendy. I said, Mama, I'm there, but in a me, my heart a tear out. Like me, I said, God, part of me wanted her to go and another part wanted her to stay, because at times it's hard to live without a mother. Many days now that since she passed, I'm like, boy, Mommy, if you're the day here, things would have different, because she always positive. That is the kind of mother I know. She always positive. She never. So even the last days when me hear she keep on saying she going to die, me I say, well, the negativity, me not growing other way the moment, so me still couldn't accept it. And I did it with her, and one Saturday night, coming from town, and she called me and she said to me, say, Wendy, she called me and I missed the call. I'm a call her walk over 20 times before I couldn't get her. I do get her. She said to me, say, Wendy, the doctor will call you, because she will make her come on my bedside tomorrow because me are dead.
Wow.
I cried so much that Saturday night. My ball The Sunday morning, I wake up and I start call her phone from 5 o'clock. And the first thing in my life, I ever pray for hear my mother answer her phone. And she never answer. And my brothers, everybody went down to the hospital and the doctor said, listen, she going, she's traveling. These are her last days. I'm not try to be here. She said, Wendy, I'm not have to tell you that because you're here every day. And everybody was there talking with her. But me, I was crying. My brother, they must say, you bawl too much, but them never understand, say, at the moment, them I couldn't find words because when them I tell her, I say, boy, mommy, we love you, blah, blah. When me tell her every day. I was there every day. Me and one of the twin them. We was there every day. So me actually know everything we are going in our life. Him will go there, brush our teeth, tidy her. But me, when me go, me nah leave something when me say doctor, cause doctor have to tell me what I go on.
So with that being said, you could say that you learned a lot about the process of the cancer and
Yeah.
everything. Okay.
Yeah, and she was just there lying down and when doctor give up on her, she never died that time. I remember I go hospital and I sit down there and mommy now said nothing. I know she, when you go hospital, she knew everybody business from the world. So it was kind of hard to deal with not hearing her speaking. I mean, I say, no, sir. Every day I go, I just sit down and hold her and I did the Monday, the Tuesday, the Wednesday morning I was here and me I try to figure in my head. Whenever I go hospital, I go sit down and bawl and suffer myself, God. And about 8:30 when I look, I see my phone and ring. When I look, I see mommy pop up. Jesus, I the first me answer her phone so fast. And I say, mommy, and she say, bring one apple for me because in the last days the voice started to go.
Yep.
Because the cancer take the lungs. So if the voice box, everything started to fall apart. And I remember, I go to town, and I buy the jump. She said she want a local apple because she can't manage the foreign
Maybe
apple.
too coarse for her, even her throat. That's
Yes,
what it is.
yeah. And I buy it. And when I go up there, I buy 4 in a one bag for one lady. And when I go up there, I wash it and I break off piece and she eat it and she say, eat piece, no? Let me say, oh, you want to eat off of where you eat off? Yeah, come, because my last time you go eat from me. And I eat a piece of the apple and by the other, by that was the Wednesday. By the Friday morning, I got a call that she's very unresponsive. I was at work at the time and I cried. The Saturday morning, I get up and I say, hospital, here I come. I went by KPH and when I go, I'm not used to the mother them. I used to the mother where when she know 11 o'clock come, she turn her head right to the walking area and look out for Wendy. Everybody on the ward always say that, watch Miss Eileen. Now when she look out right now. From she see me, she have a big smile on her face. And when I go, she said, my baby, you come. And she, sometimes when them say, don't sit on the bed, me always step on the bed, because I always have to be up front and personal, close with her. So that Saturday morning, I never get that. And it was sad. It was a very sad moment for me. I was there holding her and I was videoing her and I was crying at the same time. When I did it till about nearly 3 o'clock and our church people them notify me that they are coming to visit. So I tidy her, pretty her up and something. I say, all right, mommy. When I was leaving the hospital, she whispered to me and said to me, say, Wendy, tell O'Shane to come look for me. And 2 weeks him not come. And she and him live. Say, all right, I go to town and I tell him and him the Sunday, him go by the hospital, go look for him. Me stay home and cook for the family, get to eat dinner. Him next thing me know him call me and say, Wendy, you know, say me can't find mommy. Me say, Mr. D, try go find mommy, cause KPH not call me. So me don't know where you come call me. I say, but did you say you can't find mommy? Try go find mommy. Next in call me back and say, them move her. And then when me see him say to me, say, them restrain her, them tight. Me say, tell you my mother? Him say, yes. So therefore, me start read up on Google now, and Google tell me say, when data come, then get very disturbing. She started to tear off the mask, tear pluck out the, you know, the drip out her hand, and she just get delusional. She never was the same again. The Monday morning, me get up, my pack her night them as usual. When I went to KPH and when me enter the ward, I could see the looks and everybody face that something was not right. Even our doctor. She came up to me and she hugged me up and I said to her, I said, she dead? She said, no, she died. She dead, Wendy, you'd be the first one to know though. I said, all right, I go around there and I see say, death is there. She was just breathing and believe me, up till now, I don't know how me deal. I know say when me see her, me drop the two bag them on my have a ground and me was on the floor like for about 20 minutes. Me a ball out the whole of my eye. And the nurse come and them talk to me and I started to have asthma attack. Me just have to use my pump. I call my brother them and everybody when I call, you know, them I say, when do you mad? We try wake up mommy. Me say mommy, I say mommy have to wake up and the day they for really sit down and watch my mother. I died and I couldn't do nothing. No money, no love, nothing couldn't bring her back. It was really devastating. And me and my brothers, my daughter was there. We sit at the bedside with her, and I remember during all this happening, the doctor came by and said, I must stop crying because me I do more damage than good. Because she was hearing me, but she just cannot respond because they say when the person died, the last thing that leave them is the hearing.
That's correct.
So they after them come and tell me say for go off for the ward little bit, go take a breeze. And when the doctor come back to say, Wendy, is here me, I tell you, look there. Right in front of my mother catch a stroke that we didn't know.
Wow.
And fun I think one of the best moments there with her and children and grandchildren sitting down by the bedside is one of her church sister called and said to me, say, Wendy, let your brother play the song when he blew off land, blew a land. So man that land song do.
Beulah Land. Beulah Land.
Blew a land. Yeah, she loved that song. And my brother type it in and put the phone in her ears, and when the song was playing, you could see the tears streaking down her face. And me like, what woman not dead? Us people are dead after a ball. And me I say, no man, I say, mommy, I wake up. But pity me no know say death was already there. But she was a very strong person. So she wanted all of us to just for take one little time in a free our own way to say well goodbye. I leave the hospital about 3:30 and my brother them and the doctor them say listen better you go on because you can't make out the one. And I was here talking with one of my friend and 5:25, I remember my heart skip a beat 3 times. And I said to my friend, say, boy, mommy dead. And she said, when me dey on the phone there, you know. And me not hear you get no call. I say, yeah, my mommy dead. 5:30, I see my brother call me, my big brother. I not answer the phone. Cause me know what was going to come out of his mouth. Then me look, me see the brother when me and him close, a twin, and him say, when him call me 2 times, and then answer him the third time, and him say, Wendy, mommy gone. Boy, me drop the phone, me cry. One night time me I cry and no tears now come. Me I wonder say God, what me do? What me do? That's why up till now, 2020 is one of my worst years. And every Monday from my mother died, I don't like Monday. Monday bring back too much bad memories.
Wow.
And sometimes me not gonna say me perfect. Sometimes we make some bad choices in life. Sometimes when the parents need us the most, we'll just shun them away. But you see, when them dead and you don't have them no more to talk to, sometimes my mother comes and say, "Move make the phone, man, you chat too much. I can't buy a bag of chatting with every minute." But now, can't tell anybody, say, when people used to tell me, say, boy, my mother dead in me, you can't just say, boy, my condolences. You have to walk in the shoes to know how it fits. And know that it is not whether as where the topic is about, is whether it's a loved one relationship. But me know say till this day, my mother death is one of the hottest thing. And prior to she die and everything now, me don't know if nobody else I got dead for me where I got lick me so. Yeah, from my mother died till now, me dead with her physically and mentally. Me's not the same girl again. We can't tell anybody that. I am not the same Wendy where everybody used to know because that day when my mother died, piece of me go with her. And me I go use a platform for tell everybody out there, cherish the cherish everything, every moment where you have with your parents. Even at this stage, if you and them not even talk as a tonight, call them and even for them wrong you, because we know parents here. Sometimes they believe say because they are the one that call themselves mother, then can't say and do anything to we, don't?
True, that is true.
But my experience with my mother, it have opened my eyes, it have taught me so much. And those scatter roses after they are gone. Give people the love and support. You have some family, you're there right now, 1 pound of sugar and them not help you. Them rather sit down and tear you down. And it was a pleasure to be here on your platform, my cousin.
Yeah, we're not finished yet. If you want to stay, because we have some questions.
No, man, yeah, man, they here same way, man.
Okay. So my question is this, the grieving process. I'm not sure if you heard us earlier while you were listening when Opal spoke about her situation as it relates to the topic of losing a loved one. She had a different scenario as well as death. So she had a situation like you heard. The grieving process, the denial, the anger, the bargaining, the depression, and the acceptance. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily go in that order. Now, in your situation, I would think it affected both you and your mom. So, at first, which stage would you say your mom started as it relates to the grieving process? You have the denial, the anger, the bargaining, the depression, and then the acceptance.
Boy, at first it was denial for me.
Okay.
I think that since she died and buried, feel like I'm going a whole heap of depression mode.
Hmm. So you're still in the depression mode. So you would say you've not yet reached the acceptance mode. Is that what you're saying?
No, no, no. Evil people around me will talk to me, and even today a lady said to me, call, text me on my WhatsApp and she say, Wendy, why? Sometimes I want to go for your status and I can't deal with you, you know. And I
Mm.
said to her, I said, look now, when the right time come, the right time will come. The right time not come, she said, Wendy, you have to let go your mother. You not do no good to yourself. But she not understand. As when I say you have to walk in a person's shoes to
Mm-hmm.
know how it feel. When my mother died, I remember the Tuesday morning when we went to the hospital and everything was just my whole world was upside down. When I step on the ward the Tuesday morning because my mother hand over all authority of power to me, so no one else couldn't claim the body but me.
Right.
And the our doctor came up to me and him hugged me and him said, boy, Wendy, I don't know how you managed to come here this morning. I say, I wanted to stay home the Tuesday, of course, and wrap up in my bed and ball out my eye. But you have to think, say, listen, I have a dead for bury.
Mm-hmm.
Me I do it, but me I do it and me I cry at the same time. The
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday morning, I went to the hospital. I get the body the Tuesday and she dead the Monday evening. And usually people take longer than that to get a body at KPH. And I remember sitting down there and the doctor said to me, say, boy, Wendy, your mother not easy, you know. I say, what she do? Him say, you see, since Miss Daly is on this one, Miss Daly look at me and tell me, say, listen, doctor, you see when me dead up here trying to make my daughter come here 3-4 times to get my body. Because she's the only one. And me know why she have to I run up and down behind her. So me end up get the body the Tuesday, but because even when my mother died, my brothers them was like, boy, it come like one of my brothers said to me, say, when you know she said the dead woman I lead the same way. Because everything that I did was on her order. Before she died, she tell me the funeral home that she wanted her body to go. She tell me where she wanted to be buried. So even after she passed, I was still following that trend.
And that
When
is
my brother was like, tranquility, me say no, the woman never say she want got tranquility. You know when they had the dead woman there's no choice. Me say,
no, that's what it is. That's somewhat similar to a written will. It may not be on paper, but what
yes,
I understand that when someone is in the end stage of life, they can make advanced directives wherein she made you the proxy or the power of attorney in the first place, which was great. And she can also make her wishes as well to what she would decide whether even while in the hospital, she could say whether or not she wants to be resuscitated or not, or where she wants to be buried, or she wants them to continue treatment while she's going through her terminal illness. So, I mean, I'm happy that you did understand that you should have honored her wishes, even if
yeah,
as
me
she
do
was
it.
living, as if she.
Yes, I did it because me say, listen, mommy not dream me no. If she a dream me, I must something good, but no dream me if it's a vex. Like, let me say, listen, evil, evil, the country route was a struggle for us. But I'm thankful for my families. They were very, very supportive. I have when mommy died, me come against one heap of blockage, and sometimes I cried. I remember when I planned the grave digging on the Wednesday, And from the Sunday, rain start fall a country. And where me must travel with my entourage, go grave digging, there's a flood way. We can't pass. And I started to cry. Me Allah. And I said, Mummy, but Jesus Christ, what a piece of passa you left me now. Wait, Mummy. I said, Mummy, but you tell me say you want to go Dufka, because Dufka easy to deal with. But now I understand why she wanted to go to St. Mary. Because if she go a Dufka, just the other day, I see me and my brother charter vehicle and gonna St. Mary, gonna sit down on the crib.
Wow.
You understand? I'm gonna have that me time with her. If she did Dufka and me, I couldn't go do that. You understand? So even all of them decisions that she made, I think she really did a look in herself and say, when they are gonna need me. Some day when they are gonna need me, and the other day when I needed her, I could go sit on the grave, I could cry, me cry out my eye them. When me I come back at town, my eye me red.
It's like she was thinking about you even through her own ordeal.
Yes, she was really, really thinking about me and my brothers, because she looked at me and she said, Wendy, when me I ask her, I said, Mommy, when you feel like say you got dead left me now? When me how me I go manage? Even though I'm a 40-year-old person, I can't tell anybody this. I'm very spoiled. And I know love. I know love. Nobody can fool me, because my mother did love me. I'm positive of that. Nobody can give me no fake love.
So let me ask
That
you
is
something.
why sometimes you see, sometimes we young lady will come about some, like how Opal talk about her husband a while ago, and some man, boy, broken relationship not easy to deal with. But I just you have to just, when you fall, you don't stay down. Cause me you know the road there. When you fall, you don't stay down, you brush off and you get up back again, because there have to be another day.
I must give it up to you ladies, both of you, tonight, because it takes courage, it takes strength, that mindset to come on here tonight to speak about your situation, about what you've shared with the world at large. Remember, this is not just among us, it's with the world at large. So I must lift my hat off to you both for coming on here tonight to share your stories with us. And I hope that you viewers, you're tuned in, you're listening, and being compassionate, understanding, and you yourselves may have gone through the same thing as well. So I'm sure you do understand. One question I have for you, Afresha, are you ready to let go? And do you have anything that you hold on to literally, physically for her? Are you ready to let go?
Hold on to a lot, believe me. Um, the house is up there, and Francia died, and they move up the furniture, and nobody don't go in the room, because I am the one that's supposed to go put the clothes in bag, get rid of it, and me not do it. So I guess my hold on for everything same way.
Yeah.
Some days I will go in my phone and I look back on videos, pictures. So I'm trying to move on. Believe me, I'm trying to. If me listen a song that me know she like, me cry.
Right. And what I know of or have learned recently is that one of the things that you can do to start the letting go process or acceptance process, which is the last process in the grieving process, is getting rid of those stuff. It's hard, because when you have them, it still it makes you still gravitate and hold on to the person. So one of the things is to start getting rid of the stuff. It's very hard. It's not easy.
Yes,
This is such a suggestion for you. Whenever you're really ready, because I can't tell you to be ready right now. Only you can know what
listen,
you're going
cause
through. But to help.
me try for stop by the house. I'm sitting in the heap of clothes and me a fall. Let me just say, me can't do this, yeah, me can't do this, me can't do this, me can't do this.
Right.
And my brother is like, Wendy, you need to pack up the lady clothes. Him reach a stage where him had losing patience with me and I said to me, listen to me, man. Me I go burn them. I go light a big fire and I go and burn them because a month now the room is there and nobody can go in there because the bed put up this that everything is there and nobody can say somebody can go in and go leave because of you because you refuse to let go of the clothes them and me I say you mad you can't but do my clothes and then me I say listen to me my you don't know how I do my work for your things them it's like you must say you're mad but I feel like talking tonight and right, call the lady for me now. The nurse down this. Usually, I would have cry. I would have cry and really can come and talk about the situation and not crying. Feel proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too. I am very proud of
Yes,
you too. Now,
yes.
have you ever been through any other difficult times recently? And this is for both you and Opal. Since you're at it, you can answer first, and then Opal can respond after.
Well, otherwise from our death and during the time of her dying, only thing I want right now for setting me cause it's just a work. And COVID is here and
Okay.
because of chronic asthma and chronic sinus, nobody know why employ people like me. So I just a work now. I just that at my difficult time right about now.
Right,
And
right.
taking it one step at a time to try to heal from my mother.
That's a start. That's a start. Yeah, that is a start. And Opal, what about you? Have you been through any other difficult times recently?
Well, remember when my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer metastasized, as your cousin was saying, um, I remember the day when my sister video called us on WhatsApp and I saw my mother. They were holding her. I thought she was dead. And it's the first time in my adult life I think I've ever gotten hysterical. And I was like, who don't care my mother go hospital? Who don't care my mother? And I broke down and I started crying and my sister ended the video. And she said, I didn't call it to cry, I called it to pray. I couldn't pray. Honestly,
I know you're a very good prayer warrior. I know that.
thank you. I couldn't pray. I couldn't pray. And I told him, I said I couldn't pray. You know, when as Afresha was saying, I saw my mom. She couldn't eat, she lost weight, she was what's the word, dehydrated, all of those. It was hard, very hard. And like Afresha, I didn't have a job. And I'm like, God, if my mother dies now, I mean, to find money to go to Jamaica. My husband is the only one working. And, you know, as you would know, Cleo, when they are foreign, bills have to pay.
That's
You
right.
can't keep light and water.
And there's nobody's breadfruit tree you can go store or mango tree.
You can't thief light or water up here, so it's so different. And you know, I can't swim, and even if I could, to swim from Canada to Jamaica is just totally impossible. So, you know, all those things I thought about. I thought about so many things if my mother died, you know. And I am still for Afresha, you know, her mother has died and she's moving on to another stage. You know, for me, I can get a call anytime now to hear that, you know, mom has closed her eyes. And yeah, that is not, it's not as bad as I used to feel before, but I can get a call anytime now. But I'm in a better place, you know, I'm in a better place because I've learned to deal with this. At least they prepared Afresha somewhat, but I remember when my father was sick and the doctor said, your father is very sick, brace yourself. And she didn't tell me your father was dying. She just said, brace yourself. And we were in the doctor's office that Sunday, I remember, quarreling with my father because he was doing dialysis, he was diabetic, and he wanted ackee and saltfish. And I'm like, Daddy, you know you're not supposed to eat ackee and saltfish. And he said, well, I want ackee and saltfish. And I couldn't understand him. And the doctor said, you know what? Give him anything he wants. He wants ackee and saltfish, give him. You know, whatever he wants, give him. And we couldn't understand as a doctor why she was telling us all of that. And like 2 months later, Daddy was vomiting blood and stuff. And you know, I was telling him, I remember the day I came, the Saturday morning, I went to Spanish Town Hospital and I brushed his teeth. And I was like, Daddy, you're vomiting blood. And him say, yes. So I said, why it's so brown? And him saying vomit this morning. And you know, I know that I look back, I feel so silly. Daddy, I make an appointment for you to dialysis on Monday. Yeah, and him say, yes, darling. And he was doing this with his fingers on the bed. And we were talking and him say, yes, darling. All right, darling. You know, my father was dying. You know, and the day when they call us early in the morning to say we should come. When I went to the hospital, the curtain draw off, you know. When I touched Daddy, he was warm, which means that him not too long close his eyes. Wow. You know, he was still warm. And I didn't cry. He went to Spanish Town Hospital. Was at Spanish Town Hospital. We couldn't find him. We found out that he was not at the morgue at Spanish Town Hospital. They sent him to another morgue in Spanish Town. I can't remember the name of the morgue right now. And they showed us my father, and I was just looking at him. But when I came to grips with the fact that Daddy died was the day he was in the box. And I went there. I used to wonder why people touch dead body, you know. But that day I was touching him and crying and saying, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. And I was like a 5-year-old. Wow. I was like a 5-year-old. I was 33. That was 10 years ago. And I still remember it. I was touching him and saying, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. And Jackie, if you remember Jackie came.
Right, from the bank?
Yes, Jackie came and she moved me and she said, come, Opal. Because, you know, and I still cry. I think it was a couple of, this Father's Day, I was hearing Dance with My Father, you know, and I started, my father taught me how to dance. And he taught me how to waltz, and I was just waltzing by myself and crying, wow. You know, and it has been 10 years. I don't cry so much anymore, but I still cry. You know, I'm like, Daddy, I'm married again. I have a husband that is, you know, that is responsible. I have 2 boys. I wish you could see them, Daddy. You know, I wish. Yeah. You know, last year I had a feeling I should go to Jamaica. And I told my husband, I said, we need to go. There's something telling me that I need to go to Jamaica. And we went last June. I didn't spend that much time with my mom, you know, and no, June, COVID, my mom got sick. You know, all of those things all of those things happen. So the grieving, Aisha, I can tell you it's going to take some time. You have to be prepared to move on. Nobody's rushing you. Nobody's killing you, but it depends on you. If you want to stay, and 20 years, I know a lady, she lost her only child and she wouldn't go to Mother's Day service at church. 20 years, she wouldn't go. But she started going to church now because she realized, you know what, I can't live like this. And Aisha, I want to say that, you know, you sharing is actually preparing me to see some of these things that, you know, my mom might have to go through.
Yeah.
We got an oxygen concentrator. We had to buy one from the States to get it to Jamaica. And it was a Walipa Pasa a custom, and God Almighty, I think I was losing it. My friends, you know, they were so patient with me. My siblings, they were wondering, why am I killing up myself like this? They'll soon clear it. You know, Felix was having problems clearing it and stuff. So right now, my mom, she was using those big oxygen tanks. She take it off her face sometimes and oxygen waste, just like that, you know. And so we got the portable one. It's called a concentrator.
Yes,
And
that was the one that they asked us
yes,
to get for my mother.
540,000 Jamaican dollars for it. But in the States, it's a little cheaper. It's about we got it for about 1,800 US, which is about 3,000 Canadian dollars.
Like almost half.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Cancer,
half of
lung
that.
cancer is the worst type of cancer.
So we had to. So right now, my mother called me yesterday, and you know, she calls, and I remember hearing the machine, and I said, "Mom, is that the machine?" Because I don't know what it sounds like, you know. And she is living on oxygen. She is that's what she needs to breathe. That's what she and when my mother was first diagnosed, it was 2017. I was pregnant with my first son, and my blood pressure was just going up. I was just
during pregnancy, because I could put
no, it wasn't. And the doctor, my OB was asking me, what is wrong, Opal?
Right.
Apart from the fact that I was 39 years old, pregnant with my first child, you know, they say you're old and whatever, but my pressure was just going up, wouldn't stop. And I told her what happened, and she's, you know, she tried to give me ways and means, and I tried, you know, I really tried. We went through the process. My son is healthy, is fine, but then bam, my second son, then my mom. So I mean, it is, losing my dad was the first person that, my husband, my ex-husband, yes, but my dad, I was very close to my father. I look like my father, you know, I look very much like my dad, and my daddy spoiled me. Talking about spoiled.
The boys married to the mom.
Yes, and the mom and the girls married to their dad. Yes, so I looked just like my dad, and my father spoiled me, the first of 4 girls. So, you know, when my father died, it was very hard for me because I'm used to daddy and everything. But I used, because of my relationship with God, I turned to my Heavenly Father, right? Cleo would remember the days when I was to pray in the bank, I would say, Daddy. So I used this to turn to my Heavenly Father and cry to him and say, Daddy. And that really helped me, you know, in the grieving process. My relationship with God is helping me to deal with, you know, my mom. I still get a little anxious sometimes when my sister calls me early in the morning. You know, if she calls me in the day, like 10, 11 o'clock, I know, yeah, everything is fine. But when I look at my phone and I see a 5 o'clock call, I'm like, oh my goodness, my heart skips a beat, Afresha.
Right.
But I'm in a better place, you know. When I see that, I just start praying, and I said, Lord, you know, you promise you won't give us more than we can bear, you know, as we say in Jamaica. And I also said, Father, this didn't take you by chance, you know, and so it's something I'll have to learn to deal with. It might not be easy coming to Jamaica, and you know, my son was sick earlier this year. I didn't know what to do. I called my mother. My mother said, you had gripe water. I said, yes, Mama. She said, give him gripe water. you know, and you know, these things, and I'm saying to myself, if anything happens and I lose my mama, I don't have a mama to call anymore. I'm all the way in Canada, all the way in Canada. I don't have a mama to call anymore. And so I am capitalizing on you know, calling and talking to her and all of that. So first of four girls, it has been rough, but God has been seeing me through. You know, my sisters have been very supportive and all of that, you know. My brothers try, but you know, men are different. They deal with grieving in a different manner. They might not cry to let us see, they, you know. I remember when my, pardon?
It's a culture thing. They don't want.
Well, when the morning when my mother, when I started bawling out, I was like, oh, no, carry her to the hospital. You know, I video called my siblings again, and my brother was crying. He broke down and he was crying.
My brother, just one of the twin them, he was in denial from day one. I said, Mummy naga dead, I wanna ball on dead for Mummy. And that Monday morning when he came to the hospital and him hold her hand, me, boy, him rub him face on her face. And you could see the tears, and right there and then me know that this people have this meat, but man not for ball. I lie them a tell. I lie them a tell because me watch my brother them weep. Just the other day, my brother have I said boy, him mind run pan him mother, and him was weeping on him status. The man make a video, and believe me, touched it touched me more than anything else.
Wow.
Because the reason why when he posts sometimes it make me cry, him and I living at the house. When everybody is gone at them yard, him and I did it. You understand me? I say sometime when she was alive and he will call me that man, I say, boy, Wendy, we can't deal with the nurse from 9 to 4, you know, because it's not easy. Because when I come home, I'm for rest every minute. My mommy I call him to come clean her. Those are the things that when we went to the hospital to identify my mother body, I feel like that day was one another a worse day in my life, because when I went in the morgue and they bring out the body and I started to tear the sheet off her, and the man said, no, miss. We have to give you permission. I said, no, can't give me permission to touch this body. Me now wait for your permission. He said, no, the reason for it. I said, listen, when I finish, I wash my hand. And my big brother was there with me and my daughter. And the man I said to me, say, miss, talk to her. I said, sir, I don't know what to say to her, but I know me I cry. When I look, I see how the man take up my mother in the sheet. Like when my mother died, my mother 63, and the way him angry in the sheet, she looked like a little 5-year-old. That was how frail her body was.
Wow.
And when him lift her up in the sheet and him say, oh, hey, I'm my mother that in a big man. No do her, sir. He must say to me, say, boy, sorry, Browning. She not no feel. Me say no. And
You still have to respect the body. You still have to respect the
yeah, and you have to respect people that are there grieving. And when the funeral home and that was I gonna take the body now, when he came with the van and them open it, and he must say to me, say, you want to take any picture? My daughter said, Mommy, me say not take no picture. Do. Not take no picture. Me say, wanna leave all picture till funeral day, because right now I can't deal with this. And when me see that body went in another transportation, and I feel like them time that when I reach out a door, my big brother said the only thing him see me I do like me I go down. My foot them weak. And And because it's behind public, you know, them have the Zozo. Some soldier was over on the other side and they were saying to my big brother that older man, you know, older man, me say, my big brother said to me, say, you can't sit down here, sir, but me never have no choice. Me have to sit in at the road. And I tell them, I rub, at the stage, I rub my foot like a spoiled child. You know, when you have a ball for candy. And me I say, Brian, I say, Wendy, Mummy God, even now, out of all of my brother, them, he's the older one, he's very positive. He always say, sis, she got rest. She need no more pay. Me no want to hear that.
This is a
Yes?
question. Since you're on that topic, Afresha, there's a viewer who wants to know, how are you coping now?
Well, me doing like 70% better. Because I'm not crying tonight makes me know that I'm getting stronger.
Awesome.
So me know that I'm moving, taking my own little time, making my one step. Because even Mother's Day gone, last year Mother's Day, my mother was here with me. She was over my house. And I remember she take out a blue panty and she handed it to me and she said to me, say, Happy Mother's Day. And me I say, Mommy, me not get you nothing for Mother's Day. And she say, yes, you get me something. Me say, what? She say, you gave me love. She say, being here with you and you're cooking for me, she say, you make me feel love. And my brothers, they surprise her. They call me and say, boy, Wendy, we are come over there because during her sickness, sometimes she over here along with me, but it's because I couldn't deal with it, and then me have to just make a decision and say, boy, we have to just get somebody to look after her because me I have asthma attack every minute because watching her suffer is not a nice thing.
So in what ways has it been harder than you thought it was going to be?
After the burial, me the thing say after laying her to rest, my life would go back to normal. From March till now, I don't know if one day come when me don't think about her. Me the think say after you know, why after you bury somebody 9 days, everything gone back to normal. But I realize say in my case, I know there are other people out there that are fighting the same thing. It is not that easy.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that, Afrisha. And Opal, I know that you have been through a lot as well. And I just want to ask you, in what way are you feeling differently now as compared to the past?
I won't say that you are totally prepared for death because you can never be prepared, but I have learned how to deal with it. I've learned how to deal with a loss. I know when my body's going through certain things. I'm able to identify it. When my mom took sick and I fell in depression and stuff, I knew what was happening to me. I knew. So what happens is that it helps me to identify these things really. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So I guess I should have been drinking water all this time.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, so I am better able to deal with it now. Not that I'm saying if my mother should die now, I would be 100%. I will cry like a Afresha. The difference is, as much as I would want to roll on the ground and carry on, I'm a mom of two, so you know I'd have to learn to compose myself really, and it's gonna be different. You know, it's gonna be different. Not anticipating it, but I have been through something, so I believe I'm in a better place to deal with it. I'm not saying I'm 100% able to, but
Right.
I've been in a better place based on what I have been through with my dad's death. And as Afresha said, you know, after daddy died and we put him in the ground, that's when the reality of the matter comes. That it's another stage of having to deal with it and move on.
You won't see that person anymore. When you lay them in the funeral day, is one of the worst day.
But not only that, people are around you during that time. It's when they're gone and everybody pack up and gone about their business, and you know you have to deal with it. And for me, I think the process might be a little easier because you know I jump on the plane and come to Canada and I live my life. If it were in Jamaica, it would be different. I would have to deal with this. When daddy died, I was living by myself, you know, and people were saying, come to the house and stay. I couldn't stay there. I couldn't stay at my parents' house, you know.
Memories.
Yeah, but
Memories.
before I came to Canada, I actually gave up the place I was renting and went and stayed at the house until I left and I came here. And, you know, I was able to deal with it then. It took me, what, daddy died 2010, 2011, a year actually. 2011, less than a year, I moved back to my parents' house and I was able to deal with the whole thing, you know, and it was better for me. So sometimes with the grieving process, we might have to kind of move away. Not that you should pack up and run away, but
Right.
sometimes moving away helps and then going back to deal with it.
Yes, because when my mother died and when I stopped by the house, no, it take me a long time to enter back her house. Me not even want to go at the door because everything in there remind me of her. My mother is a mother like this. She know me I come and she lie down on her bed. Her bed is always over the years that I know my mother. Me don't know if the bed ever move from the window. The rest of the house changed but the bed now move.
Okay.
So from she, if me come at the gate and me say, Mummy, or sometimes I say, Mummy, you know, here I smell your perfume. So you know the feeling there of knowing that she's not there.
Right. So,
Um,
Afresha, do you think you need some kind of therapy? And I mean, I know for Opal, she said her family was there to support her, but I'm gonna ask both of you. One for you, Afresha, do you think you need any form of professional counseling or therapy?
yes, I was honest with myself and I said this. Listen, you see, after COVID over and me get back my life in groove, me go really go see a professional therapist, somebody where you can talk to. That is what I'm trying to say to people. Say sometimes there is guilt.
Some things that you
There
can
is
get up.
some,
Okay.
yes, guilt and lying by myself, and then everything start playing my head.
Hmm.
And sometimes I even blame myself at some point. I say, boy, you know, say when mommy alive and knowing that me are right and me should not do more.
Okay.
I'm gonna say go to hospital and take the clothes them and wash them and make sure them smell nice and fresh and make sure say she have her juice and her water. Me go there and I kiss her up and movie me love her. That was not all. That was not all because we all know say family go through we own little stumbling block at times. And maybe she died. Yes, yes, she did me wrong and she apologized to me, but I don't think me did really accept the apology. Like, oh, you know, sometimes I say, you know, say me shall sing with mommy and blur to the how me feel, but this is because I'm always a very outspoken person. I never want to feel like say boy me a disrespect her.
Right.
So she died and even on her bed prior to she dying and you know we had she sometimes I say mommy must die everywhere. What do you say? Because she get a long time. She get a long time to if you do anybody wrong, you get a long time to profess yourself to God and say, boy, you know she was a Christian, but we know we all do slip up. We say, boy, Father God, forgive me for all that I have done. So because even that, and she looked at me and she said, Wendy, if I have done you wrong, I am sorry. She said, if me do your brother them wrong, I am sorry. And even my mother, and she died, and there are a lot of things going on within the family because prior to my mother died, and even now, me and my brother, we made my same mother and father. We don't talk because of my mother.
Wow.
Because he was just me just feel like him never did a do enough, and him more in the situation, him in the work where him can do more than we were work minimum wage. You understand me? I say my own boss, and the week when she had died and she asked for him leave her out. Him never had look her side. Even the day when she had died, she died, they know them pronounce her dead 5:30, but she really died 5:25. And him come at the hospital like 5:45. You understand me? I say, and even that now me look at me say, boy, when me ask my brother them say, listen, come make we have a family meeting because my mother she not like people hold grudge against people, and they are saying him we not talk to him, and it really make me uneasy because I'm a family person.
And then what if something should happen to him, especially in these trying times? I mean, it's only gonna make guilt continue. Someone may continue to feel guilt along the line and feeling that, oh my God, I should have reached out to him irrespective of everybody else saying no or whatever. Somebody has to be the bigger person. It's hard though sometimes with family members, because I think we all, including myself, and I'm sure viewers are listening and some of them can attest to that as well. It's hard sometimes to deal with family because everybody talking about family, we say family, but then when the truth comes around for everybody to get together, then it's not real. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So,
yes. Because even at one point when she died and funeral plan and everything, one me I say, listen, me not ask no for no permission. Me not even ask no what color. Me just a please myself. I was me feel like I was so ignorant that even when the grave digging and go by the grave digging, and my hubby has said to me, say, "Babes, when you go to the grave digging, please don't create no war.
right,
Please."
right.
My
Yeah.
big brother, him sit and him talk with me and him say, listen, I feel mother too. You can't one point I was so ignorant. Me and I tell the man say you can't come at the funeral. Me a black you for you come at the funeral.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it's like, in that thing, my mother dream me one night, and when she dreamed me, she was sitting down and she was smiling, and then me get to the morning and I say, boy, mommy, are your son and not my son? Me can't fight. You understand? Me can't fight a battle where you died and you and him not talk. And that was my main focus. How can you have a mother and on her dying bed? You go say, me not deal with her. And up till now, and she died whole heap of months now from March and come down 6 months now. And me don't deal with him me not deal with him. And at times it make me feel a way. We know say I have other brother out there and me and him don't talk and we don't talk. You understand? Just because me still I bring my mother guilt towards him.
Right.
And
So,
at times me not think that is right. But you
right,
know, every family have them own little dilemma.
right, exactly. All right, so we're about to wrap up now, and I mean, I can't say it enough. You ladies are so strong. You ladies are so courageous, um, bold to step out and speak about your situations to the world. A viewer wants to know if you two ladies can stay in touch to help each other out with the grieving process. That's a viewer's concern.
Yes, not a problem because Opal, before my mother died, me sleep with the phone under the pillow. When me leave hospital, me no put on my phone. If me I go to bathroom anywhere me I go with my mother sick, the phone is on me because
Right,
I don't want to miss that call.
right. And I know
Because
Opal is capable too if she's up to it to help out and encourage each other. What do you say, Opal? Is that
You know,
something you take
I was
on?
actually thinking about it, you know. I was actually thinking about it when she was talking about, you know, the last days of her mom and stuff, you know. I wanted to, I was planning to ask you afterward if we could, you know, exchange numbers because I would want to have somebody who has been through it, who has been there, you know, and all of that. My mom didn't do chemotherapy, she didn't do radiation, anything like that. So
Right.
yes.
Wow, look at that. And that's what our group is for. Connection, the networking. I mean, everybody's involved, even us. We've met some very great people, of stature, and we love it. It's helping us, in our networking process, and even with our special guests, we've had quite a few people who has connected out of this program as well. So by all means, most
Yes,
definitely.
and even as she spoke about counseling, um, the lady who counseled me during the breakup of my marriage and all of that, she's a very good counselor. She's a Christian also, and I think she would be a good counselor for you. I thought about that too, and stuff, you know. So each one reach one,
Mhm.
and we're here to help each other.
That's right.
We're
yes,
here. I might not be in Jamaica, but I still know stuff about Jamaica. I
Yes.
know King Street and Princess Street, as you have said before. I mean, I can't forget it. It's where I was born. So, yeah.
Right.
well,
Okay,
I
guys.
don't have a problem to exchange number because each and wash the other one.
Exactly. And
And
exactly.
for Opal saying lung cancer, it actually bring me right back down memory lane. The journey is a very, very rough one. It is going to get rough, and Opal, I want to be a part of your life when it gets rough. Believe me, the journey is going to get rough. This is only the beginning.
Thanks, Afresha, but I am really concerned about my sister who lives with my mom. I've shared with her how concerned I am about her, and just like your brother, I'm concerned.
Yes, yeah, man. The ones that are there every day, we have to face it. Those are the ones that suffer the most.
Yes, my brother also lives with her. They don't say much about it, but I know that they're going through. I know it. Silently, they're going through it a lot, and I think about them a lot. As I said, I can just jump on a plane after this and come back to Canada and move on. Ball one and two time, but it's not staring me in the face as it
Yes.
staring my siblings.
After my mother died, and them both 3 years the 30. I think that was one of the most memorable moments with my little brother because the night him text me and him say, Wendy, the house don't feel good.
And sometimes it's just a mind over matter thing.
Yeah, and me Mr. Twin say, look down, me tell if you move up the house, no.
You know,
And
it's
believe
great to
me,
know that
say,
you ladies can laugh in the midst of everything,
yes,
you know,
me,
the humor
Yeah.
is there.
10 o'clock the night, the man start fling furniture left, right,
Wow.
left, right, and center because she real. So she reach her yard.
All
But
right. So
me know her.
I'm happy that you guys, like I said, can smile about some things, you know, despite it all. Now, as we are about to wrap up, is there anything else that you want to close off with, both you and Opal, before I'm going to ask Opal as well if she could say a word of prayer, to close out the show after your final say?
Well, for me, family is a must. Take care of your whether your mother, your father while they are alive. Because you don't know the minute or the hour you're going to wake up and that person is no longer here with you. Right now, I wish my brother would out there and I see this for tell him say, me no hold no grudge against him again. Because at the end of the day, mommy dead and gone, no gone rest.
Mm-hmm.
All of the quarreling and everything can over. And I can say this, I love my brothers, and the reason for my mother died and we don't war over nothing.
Right.
The funeral, me planned everything, and I must admire my brothers for putting their confidence in me. Nobody no follow me go funeral home, missus, and me alone go. When I go funeral home and pay money and come and say the receipt, and then say, where you get receipt for? Cause if me not pay the money when funeral day, them I gonna know cause nobody not gonna come. So I have to say one love. We must love each other. We must care for each other. Don't wait. My mother used to tell me, say, Wendy, no wait till me gone. No scatter roses off of my gone.
As I'm gonna ask you,
You
Afresha,
can't see
real
me.
quick in the same breath, while we're at it. Now, you're speaking about your mother, but what about, how do you think you would have, felt if it was a loved one, like a partner that you lost? Or has your mother death even taught you anything about even the relationship you have, your personal relationship?
I've lost a partner 2015.
Oh, wow.
Same year when my mother was fighting cancer. He died also. And well, when he dead, I never take him dead nice. I never take him dead nice at all because after you live with somebody for 17 and a half years. And him just got hospital the Friday and just dead and a like mommy where me know she got dead.
Wow.
But over the years, to deal with mommy sickness, I kind of forget about him.
Okay.
Prior to him died and everything, sometimes God do some things and then they put another greater person in your life. So I could replace him with a better gentleman, but me can't replace somebody in my mother.
Okay. I understood. I understand. Now, Opal, any last words before we go out in prayer?
Yeah, I just want to say, if we're going through this, seek help. You know, I remember when I went to the doctor earlier this year to talk to her about depression. I was joking and I said, have you ever noticed that there are no Black people on the depression advertisement? Because here, yeah, you've never seen a Black person advertising depression medication, going through depression, but we do. We do.
Very great point.
Yeah, and so we need to deal with it. We need to seek help and all of that. And in the process, you are able to help somebody else. So I learned when the breakup of the first marriage that the counselor said to me, whatever you're going through is to help somebody else. Afresha, you might think you're not helping anybody, but right now you are helping me, right? So
Just like
nothing that we go through is by chance, it's to help somebody else.
Yes.
And that in itself is going to be helping me. Not that, as you said, I'll be fully prepared to deal with my mother's death, but at least there are certain things that I know now will happen just before she closes her eyes. So I'm better informed to
Yeah,
deal.
you're prepared. You're a little bit more prepared.
Yes,
I wish before Mummy it passed. I was a little bit more prepared because my mother doctors, they were very, very bold.
Yeah, but
I
then
don't know,
nobody.
she get a team of great doctors. They were not hiding anything from me because I always have questions throwing at them.
Yeah, but the thing about it, nobody.
When I go to the hospital and if they said anything I don't understand, I come home and I Google it.
Yes.
So when it's the Google that, I might name that.
Right.
The thing about it is that nobody wanted to share with you because I know you're not the first one in Jamaica to go through this and you won't be the last one.
Yeah.
But we keep it and we hide it and we don't want nobody to know, so we go through depression. We don't want to use it, you know, and that in itself makes it hard. And, you know, Jamaica is famous for people walking up and down naked, you know, because of things that they go through and it's all bottled up. So, Cleo, thank you so much for this session. I didn't know what to expect, but I did pray about it, that I wouldn't be nervous, number one. And I didn't pray about the crying part though, but I didn't want to be nervous because I didn't know what to expect or what to say. But, you know, I really thank you. Thank you, Aisha, for sharing this with us, you know, and
you're welcome.
everything that happens in our life is for a reason. I'm not saying, and one of the things my father used to say, he said, he would say, nothing in life is fair except death. Nothing is certain. It's not certain you're going to be rich. It's not certain you're going to marry a millionaire. It's not certain you're going to marry. You're going to have kids. You're going to be a wife and mother, but it is certain you're going to
We're
die.
all going to die.
Yes, you know, and there's this Jamaican song that we all have to pass one day. Mother have to pass, father have to pass, sister have to pass, you know. I remember, and you know, we deal with things in Jamaica. We how we deal with things that we take it into a joke. We make it into a joke.
Everything.
Yeah. My sister here in Ottawa, she was saying, oh, you know, when my mother passes, she wants to sing, "One go in a curling room, can't go in a curling room."
Hey. I remember my grandfather's night. Oh my God, yes. It was, you know, like,
and she was singing all them songs that my mother did and gone. And you know, this just was our way of dealing with the reality that this is gonna happen.
It's a coping mechanism.
But Cleo, when I came to your father,
my grandfather,
set up. Boy, that night I was so cold, me not even just. The only thing me dey find the Palma want go home. St. Elizabeth is so cold, but
Manchester is even colder. So yeah.
But out of that and everything, I met Cleo, I met your sister, and that's it. Out of everybody, there is a good.
There always is. There always is. There always is, and we just have to try and look for the good in it. We're not saying, you know, the Bible says in Romans 8:28, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love the Lord and who are the call according to his purpose. It doesn't mean that it is for good, but it's going to work for our good.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're going to help somebody. You're going to help me. There are going to be other people you're going to help. You know, one of my friends who, she I don't know, maybe she has hung up because she's in Ontario. It's after 10 her time, just like your time. Right. She lost both parents. You know, one died a year after the other, and she was in high school.
Oh wow.
You know, and she kind of helped me through it. You know, She was telling me, yes, she remember her father also had cancer. He lost weight. The day she was feeding him, the food was running out of his mouth. You know, it kind of helped me. It kind of helped me.
From somebody else, and the fact that you're not the only one who is going through it or has gone
Exactly. She had gone through it, but hers was one parent after the other. And this really helped me. And I'm just saying that we whatever we go through, as small as it might seem, we're there to help each other. So I know the time is past. We're going to close off in prayer. Cleo, if you don't mind.
Yes, right into it.
Okay, let us pray. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we give you thanks for this day, oh God. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to talk, to share, Lord Jesus Christ, what we have been through, to talk about how you have strengthened us and how you have carried us through. Lord, I lift up Afresha in your hand as she's still grieving, Lord, that you will comfort her. Father, your word said that blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Lord, I pray that you will send her the right people through the counselor, her family members, that it would help the grieving to be easier. Father, for me, I thank you for the strength. I thank you for this evening. I pray, oh God, that even as I'm going through, you know, a lot of stuff and the fact that one day I too will lose my mom any day now. I thank you for the time that I've spent with her. I thank you for what you have allowed us to go through together. I thank you, Lord God, for Cleo, for you giving her this topic to discuss and to talk. Lord, I thank you for every viewer that tuned into this program, you know, just to say something or just to listen in. Lord, I pray that in the time when we need comfort, that we too will be comforted. We bless and honor you, Father. We praise and exalt you because you are worthy. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen, amen. So there you have it, guys. We have come to the end of this week's topic, losing a loved one and the grieving process. I hope that you were truly informed, entertained. As you see these lovely queens, they were full of humor despite their pain. Okay, and I salute you, ladies. Thank you once again for being a guest on Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring. So, guys, next week we will see you at the top because the bottom is too crowded. So, we'll see you then.
Thank you, Cleo.
You are welcome.
Thank you very much, Cleo.
You're welcome. So, we'll talk after where you guys can exchange whatever,
numbers.
Okay.
numbers
Thank you.
to
Bye-bye.
stay in touch. Okay, and Opal, thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Just
Okay, bye.
have a good
All
night.
right, bye.